Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome to another Sunday broadcast. I hope you're all doing well. Happy late summer. We're getting a little bit of rain here, so some break in the heat. Very happy about that. Oh, hi. Hi, Silent Ninja. Surprised you're already here. Thank you for joining again. It's good to see you again. Hope you had a great week. So, while I'm waiting for everyone else to join, I'll just go over the basics. I know you've heard this before, but if anyone else is new, I'll go over it. The way this live stream works is it's half an hour broken into 3 parts. For the first 10 minutes, I'll cover our latest properties. For the second 10 minutes, I'll cover our latest blog posts. And then for the final 10 minutes, we'll do our vacation giveaway, which I know you're all excited about. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to make it early today. I'm doing well. Looking forward to a little bit of the break in the heat. So, and we also have a vacation coming up, so that'll be nice. All right, and then as always, in between segments or when I take a break, I'll check the chat and see if there are any questions or anything, any conversations going on, and I'll respond to that. And it looks like a few other people joined. Oh, Smooth to Smooth, good to see you again. So it's really great to see the same faces over and over again. Yeah. Hope you all are doing well. So for any new folks, just as a brief introduction, my name is Erica. I run a company, Gokche Capital. I buy and sell land through this company. Our website's gokchecapital.com. Here, you can either go to sell land by clicking Get My Cash Offer, or you can click Buy Land to see our listings. But on top of selling land, we do also try to put out some free resources that would be helpful for land sellers, buyers, and owners. So for example, if we go back to the home page, if you scroll over more, you can see our blog. And we have a ton of blog posts covering a wide range of topics. You can search for a particular topic. We have hundreds of blog posts, so you'll likely find your topic if it's related to land. And all of our blog posts are longer form, so 2,000 words. We try to go in depth in a topic. And then, of course, we have this YouTube channel where I mainly post videos about our properties, but every now and then I'll post an educational video as well. And then, of course, we do have a few additional paid resources. So we have 3 courses, one on land investing, one on land due diligence, and then one on 31 actionable tips for selling land online. And finally, we have a book. It's 11 True Stories of Land Investing Mistakes, but the bulk of the book is a due diligence checklist. And, oh, Silent Ninja, you have a question. If my neighbor and I both dug a deep hole in our backyard and connected them underground, would we be able to build a shared bunker space? Well, that's an interesting question. I have never asked a county official about bunkers. The best I can say is just check with the county or city building and planning department. I can't off the top of my head think that there'd be anything wrong with the sharing part, but you would probably want to draft some legal documents just to codify the shared ownership, because then later if you go to sell and it's not clear how that agreement works, it can make it more difficult to sell. But the actual bunker, you would need to make sure that you could get permission for that. I hope that helps, but you know, every jurisdiction has very different regulations, so it's hard to give just a straightforward generic answer to that. But yeah, I would think, again, you just want to be careful with shared space, that you create the legal documents. That'll make it easier to sell later on. Okay, that's a really interesting question. Maybe I'll do a blog post on bunkers, actually, because That's a really interesting topic, and I don't think we've done one on that. I know there's a lot of interest in them too. Okay, so for our latest properties, if you go to our main listing page, so first of all, I know many of you have been here, but if you haven't, we do have an interactive map. You can scroll in and scroll out. All the red pins are the currently available properties. When you click on a pin, you get a link to that property's main listing page. And then below that, there is a table with a little more information on each property. I wasn't sure if it's something commonly done or not. In terms of the shared bunker space, I wouldn't think that that's common. In fact, I wouldn't think that bunkers in general are common. Maybe in some parts of the country, you'll see like hurricane or tornado shelters. Tornado shelters in the Midwest could be fairly common. But actual bunker, I don't think that that's very common. But it's, yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic. I want to look more into that. So it's a good starting point for some research. Thank you. Okay, so we did post 3 properties this week. 2 of them are adjacent properties in Modoc County, California. I think last time I said that we were about to post these. Actually, I posted 3 in Modoc and 1 sold within a few days of listing, so I have these 2 still available. Each has its own listing page, so I'm just going to pull up one of them. And I think we've had a couple of properties in Modoc, so you're probably familiar with this, and I think I went over the area a little bit last time, but we are in Northern California. This is, Modoc County is a rural county, and it has a ton of public land here. In fact, a huge chunk of the county is the Modoc National Forest, and these properties are not in the forest itself, but they're still in the hilly pine forests, just outside of the one town in the county, which is Alturas, and it's also the county seat. So these are rural properties. They are in the pine forest. They are in the California Pines POA. Like many rural counties, the original developer created the POA because this county, being a very rural one, is not able to maintain roads. The POA maintains roads and other common spaces. And the properties do have access. There's this one, and then there's another one right here next to it. So you can buy them together or separately. Each is just under an acre. This one's 0.84, this one's 0.94. I'll quickly show you this other one that's adjacent to it. It's right here. It's a triangular shaped lot. So the first one's down here, and then this one's next to it. And zoning in the area is residential high density. This allows for single family homes, including mobile homes, but I don't believe long-term RV use is allowed. Again, the property is also located in California Pines. They have some CCRs. They're fairly minimal. You do have to go through the Architectural Control Committee. Everything's zoned residential, and they do have some setback requirements, but I think those are the main things as far as the CCRs. They do say that electricity lines are located in the subdivision. Surprise Valley Electric is the provider. You may need to extend power lines to the properties, though, so I'd recommend contacting the electricity company for more information on how far or how much you would need to extend power. And right now we've priced this property at a cash discount price of $1,999. They're both the same price, so each one is about $2,000 plus the document fee. And of course, we do offer owner financing. As always, it's only $1 down with 0% APR. So no interest, but you don't get the cash discount price when you purchase with owner financing. You see the owner finance price is a little higher. There's also no prepayment penalty and no credit check. There's also no application process at all. You simply click buy or hold to buy the property. I will note, though, that you aren't able to build on or live on the property until the end of the loan term, and that's true for all of our properties. So quickly, I saw some more comments. Have we been to Modoc County? We actually haven't been to, we've bought a number of properties here, but we haven't had a chance to make it out to California and up north yet, but that is on our to-do list. At some point we need to get out there given the number of properties that we've bought. And I'd be really curious to see what the surrounding area is like. Given how much public land there is, I imagine it's a pretty beautiful area. Which also reminds me, at the bottom of our listing page, we do have a drone video. I'm not going to play it because you'll hear the music, but you can check it out and you can see what the surrounding area looks like. So that gives you a good first, it's not of the property itself, but it gives you a good sense of what the landscape may be like. All right, hello, Christopher. Hope you're doing well. All right, and then the other property we posted is in San Miguel County, New Mexico. We've had a number of properties in this area as well. This is another rural lot. It's about an hour outside of Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Nevada, about 2 hours to Santa Fe. You can get to the general area by taking Route 104. We're also only about 20 minutes to Conchas Lake, which is a reservoir that's stocked by the Army Corps of Engineers, so my understanding is there's good fishing there. This property is fairly close to the main road. You would just take a dirt road there. Unfortunately, the dirt roads in the subdivision aren't in the best of condition, but you can see we're very close to the main road here. And this area is zoned A1, which is agricultural residential. It allows for agricultural and residential uses, including mobile homes. My understanding is there aren't restrictions on RV use, although you should confirm that with San Miguel. Happy Sunday, Alicia. And our cash discount price for this property is $3,999. Forgot to mention it's 5 acres. Of course, we do also have owner financing with all the same terms. Again, you just click buy or hold, and again, the price is a little bit higher than the cash discount price. And then Silent Ninja, another comment. Thank you so much for commenting or chipping in today. I like it when we have a conversation. So it's interesting to be able to buy and sell land without ever visiting some of them. I imagine some of the lots you personally bought and sold turned out to have gold or something valuable there. Yeah. So I would say for most people, I would not recommend buying a property sight unseen, but it's all about due diligence. And of course, you do have to go in knowing that there may be some surprises. On the one hand, they could be good. Perhaps, as you said, you may find out there's gold there. On the other hand, occasionally there are some negative surprises, for example, buried oil tanks. But I will say that a lot of these surprises you probably wouldn't catch just visiting the lot as well. That's why due diligence is so important with vacant land, because there are a lot of things that could be unseen or below the ground that could be either good or bad, but either way would impact the value of the property. So I find land very interesting for that reason. There's so many things that can come up, and I guess that's why it can make it a little scary to buy, but it also makes it really interesting. I never run out of topics to look into with vacant land, and there's always something new that comes up, even after buying hundreds of properties. All right, and that actually is a good segue into the second segment where I'll just go over some of our latest blog posts. All of the things that can come up with vacant land, that's one of the reasons I like to do research on these topics, because there's always something new that I'm learning. All right. So Silent Ninja said, yesterday I was thinking about how many people have owned a parcel of land and what it was ever possibly used for throughout history. Yeah, well, that's a really important point when buying land. The previous uses of the property, even though the U.S. is a relatively new country, we have been around for a while now, land has changed hands many times, and even properties that seem completely undeveloped may have at one point had some prior uses on them that could leave you with some surprises. I think I mentioned this in one of our previous one of my previous live streams. But one big thing I discovered, especially in the South, is properties that used to be orchards. So there are a lot of properties that are undeveloped. They don't even seem like they're agricultural land now, but at one point they were orchards. And for many years in the early 1900s, people used arsenic as a kind of pesticide, especially in orchards, and that has caused a lot of contamination. I heard one story of a developer who bought what he thought was just vacant land. He developed it out, installed the wells, and then after he sold the properties, people found out that their well water was contaminated with arsenic because of the pesticide use. So yeah, previous uses are an interesting topic. I was just doing some research on issues that a lot of Navajo residents who are living off-grid in the Navajo reservation have. They live off-grid, but they're not able to drill their own wells because of decades of uranium mining has caused contamination of the groundwater. Plus, it's an arid area, so wells may be prohibitively expensive anyway. And it's a big problem because there are a lot of people living off-grid who just don't have access to running water at all. And then Silent Ninja, you said, I found a lot of shells and bones on my land that used to be underwater. It was from an over 10,000-year-old sea desert. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, that could be another great find in vacant land. I know in the Southwest, we took a trip to Utah at one point and went to St. George, Utah, and saw a dinosaur discovery site where it was a farm, and people found a lot of preserved dinosaur tracks. I think some of the largest number of dinosaur tracks, because that area used to be the shore of a large freshwater lake. And so it's now a museum. But yeah, owners of vacant land occasionally find really interesting artifacts, historical artifacts, even fossils, bones, whatnot. And we're still finding them today, which is surprising. You'd think a lot of this stuff would have been discovered already, but the earth is very old. There's a lot of stuff out there. Okay, so our latest blog post. Thank you again, Silent Ninja, for all the comments. I like it. I like having conversations here. It makes it a little more lively. But our latest blog post, so I did don't remember if I went over this last week, but we have a blog post on net metering. So for anyone who's interested in solar, I think a lot of you may be. This is more for on-grid solar, so if you're an off-gridder, this is probably not as relevant, but I know for a lot of people who are considering solar on their main, regular on-grid home, solar can be very expensive, but net metering is one of those ways that it becomes a little more reasonable. So if you're not familiar with what net metering is, we did a whole blog post on that topic. Maybe it'll help you make the decision about whether to install solar or not. So Silent Ninja said, I would love to find a gold mine or some buried treasure. Maybe I watched too many movies. I would love to find that too. I have yet to, but you never know. You never know. Occasionally you do find something very surprising. We did do another blog post on cover crops, which I think is a really important topic if you're a farmer, you want to grow your own food. Cover cropping is a really useful tool to help restore soil health. And it's being more widely adopted in commercial agriculture as well. So I think it's an important topic. It's one of the topics that's widely talked about when we're talking about trying to preserve soil health so that we can continue to feed the country for generations to come. As many of you may know, that's a big issue now. Maybe not as much of a concern as it was back when we had the Dust Bowl, but our soil health still continues to decline. So finding new ways of practicing agriculture that helps maintain, restore, and preserve that soil health is really important, just for our ability to feed future generations. And Silent Ninja said, "You have a higher chance of it than I do since you acquired more land." I will definitely let you know if I find something very interesting. I may do a whole live stream on it because it would make a great story. But sadly, I've yet to come across something that would make a really wonderful story. I'm sure at some point we will. And I'll let you all know. And the final blog post this week was on stormwater pollution prevention plans. Now, this is a more technical topic, but if you're going to build and you're impacting an acre or more, you will likely need to, well, probably not you, your contractor will need to develop a stormwater pollution prevention plan. And this is designed to prevent pollutants from the construction site from running off of the site and ultimately into other waterways. So it's a form of containment for any kind of construction pollution. And construction pollution doesn't just mean chemicals or potentially hazardous material. It can also just mean soil particles or sediment from excavation. In fact, that's often what it does mean. So preventing additional runoff from construction sites is really important. It's highly regulated now. And if you're ever going to construct, you will probably need to deal with it. Most of the time, again, your contractor will deal with it. But if you ever decide to undertake the construction project yourself, you may need to actually put the plan together yourself. At the very least, you'll want to make sure that you're working with a contractor who does it correctly. So it's a good idea to understand what is involved in a stormwater pollution prevention plan. And that's why we did a blog post on it. So could be interesting. And Christopher said, "Are surveyors a safe option to verify land that someone can't visit directly? Are scammers a heavy concern when hiring one?" Surveyors are definitely a good option. It's always actually a good idea to survey a property before you purchase it, especially if you want to build, even if you can visit, just because you want to verify the exact boundaries of the property. And if a survey hasn't been done in a while, it's possible that there have been some changes or the surveys you may be relying on from the past are outdated or mistaken. And of course, the maps you'll find on the tax assessor site are not always 100% accurate either. But one thing that we do when we know we can't visit a property ourselves is you can just hire a photographer from Craigslist and have them go out and take photographs or even a drone video. It's cheaper than hiring a surveyor. So if you were still on the fence about a property and you wanted to see it to boost your confidence before actually spending the money on the survey, because the survey can be $1,000 or more depending on the property, that's a good option. A drone video in particular will give you a pretty good sense, and a good photographer can get multiple angles of the site, so they can give you a good sense of what is going on with the property. And as far as scams with surveyors, I am not aware of any. Surveyors are licensed and regulated, so I would tend to trust them. Some are better than others, but I am not aware of any outright scams with surveyors. So I think generally you can trust them to do the job. I would just note that a surveyor may not give you photos of the property. They will give you a plat map or a full map showing you the dimensions, but what they give you may not be, if your goal is just to see the site, it may not be exactly what you're looking for. That's why we hire photographers. And then Mr. Clamtastic said, any land out east Tennessee or northern Georgia? Yes, we do have a number of properties in Tennessee and Georgia. You can see them all here. You may want to check out our main listing page and see all the various properties. We've been buying a number in Tennessee and Georgia. So you can check all those out, see if any of them are within the areas you're looking at. All right. Wow, we had a great conversation today. Thank you so much. Hopefully I was able to answer some questions. But I guess that brings us to the main draw, the vacation giveaway, unless anyone has any other questions or topics they want to cover, because I'm always happy to chat. But I know you've all heard this spiel before, but for anyone who's new, I'll go over the vacation giveaway terms very quickly. Yeah, Christopher. Drone photographers are great and a lifesaver. I highly recommend them for anyone who's not able to visit a property. So the way the vacation giveaway works is it's a voucher for generally a 3-night, but sometimes a 4-night stay in a hotel that the travel partner we work with tends to classify as luxury. There are a number of locations, over 30 in the US, I believe, and over 50 altogether. And what will happen is if you are the winner, I'll send you the list of locations. You do have to select your location, and then I'll send you the voucher. You can't see the available hotels until you redeem your voucher, but there are a ton of options in every location. I'll also note that when you get the voucher, you do have 7 days to redeem it, not to book your stay, but just to redeem it. At that time, you do have to pay the regular tax associated with the hotel stay, but then you have 18 months to actually select when you want to go and which hotel you want to stay at. The voucher is meant for a single person or a couple, but there will be some hotels that will allow you to bring up to 2 children as well. I'll also note that major travel dates, like major holidays, are usually blocked off, and there is a small fee for weekend bookings. I think that covers everything. Oh, the only other thing is you are only allowed to redeem 1 voucher every 12 months, but that doesn't mean you can't participate. If you've already won a voucher this year, you can either, and you win again, you can either give that voucher as a present to a friend or family member if they're not going with you on your trip, or we can give you a hotel savings card instead. And Silent Ninja, I see you had one question. Do you ever sell land in Alaska or Hawaii? Not yet. We haven't had any properties in either. We have looked in both states at one time. Hawaii is a little tricky. Land tends to be pretty expensive. But Alaska, we may look more into it at some point. Not right this second, but I'm sure we'll return to some of these states some point in the future. Yeah. Hi, Cheryl. Okay, so for everyone who wants to participate in the vacation giveaway, just say yes in the chat. We'll assign everyone a number based on the order you say yes. So the first person is 1, the second is 2, so on and so on. And then we'll have Google randomly pick a number, and the person whose number comes up will be the winner. So I'll wait about a minute to make sure that everyone who wants to participate has a chance to say yes. And I will say, just as a preview, we are going to be posting 2 more properties in Campbell County, I believe, very soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the following day, and then one in Claiborne County. I'm not sure if that one will get out next week, but if you're interested in Tennessee, these are both Tennessee counties. Keep an eye out for those new properties. The 2 in Campbell are very close to each other, but not adjacent. So keep your eye out if you're interested in Tennessee. And of course, we'll be posting more blogs next week as well. So keep an eye out for that. Although I will be taking a small vacation, so it may be a quiet week on my end. Let's see. I'll just wait 20 more seconds to make sure that there aren't a few other people who want to participate. And looks like everyone has participated. So I'll just quickly count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we will have Google select our winner. And the winner is number 4, Silent Ninja. Wow. Well, given how much you participated in today's conversation, that's really lucky. I'm very happy that you were the winner. So you can send me an email at that email address, and I'll send you the list of locations. And for everyone else, thank you so much for joining. I know I say this every week, but I do mean it. This is, it's Sunday, 6 p.m. Sunday. It's a key time for everyone, so it means a lot that you're here with me. And I hope that you keep coming back. We do a vacation giveaway every week, so if you join often enough, you will win, I'm sure. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next week. Same time, same place.